You may be familiar with St. Patrick's Day, but have you ever considered the hidden story behind it? It started as a quiet, religious day of reflection in Ireland to honor a man who lived centuries ago, St. Patrick. But over time, something magical happened. Everywhere you look, people are wearing green, some in shamrock-shaped hats, others sporting face paint, and even a few dressed as leprechauns. The smell of corned beef and cabbage fills the air, and there's a festive energy that makes it feel like the world is one big celebration. But as that St. Patty's Day parade float glides by, or that glass of Guinness you're drinking begins to show its bottom, how many of us stop to wonder, who was St. Patrick? Why do people enjoy a nice buzz to honor this man? What happened to the snakes he drove out from Ireland? Give me a few minutes of your time, and I'll give you all these answers and more on the history of this celebration of all things green. St. Patrick's Day, celebrated annually on March 17th, commemorates the life and death of St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland. St. Patrick was born in Roman Britain around the end of the 4th century and is said to have been captured and brought to Ireland as a slave at the age of 16. After 6 years, he escaped and returned to his family. His father was a deacon and his grandfather a priest. He himself became a missionary. It is commonly believed that Patrick wanted to convert the non-believer Irish to Christianity. He is also said to have used the three-leafed shamrock to explain the Christian concept of the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. To the Irish, he converted thousands of Irish to Christianity and is thus known for driving the snakes out of Ireland. St. Patrick's death on March 17, 461 AD, marked the date of his feast day. The day became an important religious observance in Ireland, particularly within the Christian calendar, where it served to honor the missionary who played a significant role in the Christianization of Ireland. By the early Middle Ages, the Catholic Church had established St. Patrick's Day as a feast day, and it was observed with church services, prayer, and reflection. As a feast day, it was observed with Mass and other ecclesiastical rites in honor of St. Patrick. March 17, 461 AD. The day became an important religious observance in Ireland, particularly within the Christian calendar, where it served to honor the missionary who played a significant role in the Christianization of Ireland. However, it was also a day when some forms of social life were paused, as the day of devotion was considered a time of abstinence from regular work. Public celebrations during these early years were minimal, and celebrations for this historic day varied by country. Lent restrictions were lifted temporarily on alcohol consumption for Christians, possibly contributing to the mass consumption of alcohol that St. Patty's Day is known for. St. Patrick's Day commemorates the life and death of St. Patrick and is deeply tied to the Irish immigrant experience and their efforts to assert their identity and place in American society. Over time, it has become a symbol of Irish heritage and a celebration of all things Irish, blending elements of Irish culture with the American experience. The first recorded St. Patrick's Day celebration in the American colonies took place in 1737 in Boston, Massachusetts, a city with a significant Irish population. This early observance was more of a religious event than a public celebration. However, it set the stage for future events. In New York City, the first St. Patrick's Day parade occurred in 1762, when a group of Irish soldiers serving in the British Army marched through the streets of the city. This parade, which was modest by today's standards, marked the beginning of an enduring tradition. Over the next few decades, the parade grew, and other cities with large Irish populations began to organize their own St. Patrick's Day celebrations. But before we can understand how St. Patrick's Day is celebrated in the U.S., we must first understand why so many Irish chose to immigrate to the United States. The roots of St. Patrick's Day celebrations in the United States can be traced back to the large wave of Irish immigration that began in the early 19th century, particularly after the Great Irish Famine, 1845-1852, which decimated the population of Ireland and caused millions of Irish people to flee to America. The Irish immigrants who arrived in the U.S. faced significant discrimination and were often marginalized by Americans who viewed them as undesirable, largely due to their Catholic faith, their impoverished status, and their foreign background. Impoverished Irish immigrants were often seen as abundant and undesirable. As a result, Irish immigrants sought ways to forge solidarity within their community and to assert their identity in a new and often hostile environment. St. Patrick's Day, which was already a religious feast day in Ireland, became a focal point for these efforts. These early celebrations, while not as grand as modern-day festivities, were an important means for Irish Americans to express their cultural pride and to forge a sense of community in an often unfriendly environment. Over time, the parades became more elaborate, attracting participants from all walks of life, including those who were not of Irish descent, but who enjoyed the festive atmosphere. Another key factor in the development of St. Patrick's Day celebrations in the U.S. was the formation of the Ancient Order of Hibernians, AOH, in 1836. This fraternal organization, founded to protect Irish immigrants and promote Irish cultural and political causes, played a crucial role in organizing and expanding St. Patrick's Day parades and celebrations across the country. The AOH, alongside other Irish American groups, used St. Patrick's Day to celebrate Irish heritage and to promote solidarity among Irish immigrants. The AOH also sought to strengthen the political voice of Irish Americans, particularly in the face of nativist opposition and anti-Irish sentiment. As such, St. Patrick's Day celebrations often featured political themes and calls for Irish independence from Britain. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, St. Patrick's Day celebrations became increasingly intertwined with Irish nationalism and the cause of Irish independence. Many Irish immigrants continued to maintain strong ties with their homeland, and St. Patrick's Day became an occasion to express support for Irish independence movements. These early parades were marked by their strong political content, and they served as a way to show solidarity not only among Irish Americans, but also with their counterparts in Ireland. Irish American political figures and activists used the day to rally support for Irish nationalism, and the celebrations were marked by speeches and political messages advocating for Ireland's freedom from British rule. As the Irish American community continued to grow and gain influence in the United States, St. Patrick's Day became more mainstream. In the 20th century, the day evolved into a larger, more commercial celebration, especially in cities like New York, Boston, and Chicago. The widespread popularity of the holiday led to its commercialization, with bars, restaurants, and businesses capitalizing on the occasion by offering specials on Irish food and drinks. That same St. Patrick's Day parade that started by Irish-British soldiers in New York City in 1762 is now one of the largest and most famous parades in the world, attracting over 2 million spectators each year. Today, St. Patrick's Day is marked by parades, parties, and public festivals that attract people of all backgrounds, even those with no Irish heritage. St. Patrick's Day in the United States has undergone a remarkable transformation since its early days in the 18th century. Today, St. Patrick's Day in the United States is a celebration of Irish culture, food, music, and folklore, and it has expanded beyond its origins as a religious holiday. While it retains some elements of its Irish roots, it has become a festive occasion for people of all backgrounds to join in the fun. Cities across the U.S. host parades, festivals, and other events, while people celebrate by wearing green, attending parties, and indulging in traditional Irish dishes such as corned beef and cabbage. The day has also become a celebration of Irish American identity, and it continues to serve as a reminder of the important contributions that Irish immigrants have made to American society. What started as a modest religious observance has evolved into a holiday of national and international significance, reflecting the rich cultural heritage of the Irish American community and its place in the broader fabric of American life. The history of St. Patrick's Day in the U.S. is a testament to the resilience and cultural pride of the Irish American community and their ability to shape the holiday into something that has become a cherished part of American tradition. In the United States and elsewhere, St. Patrick's Day parades, parties, and public events became major social occasions, drawing millions of people to take part in the festivities. So if St. Patrick's Day is so popular in the United States, why did it take so long for the day to catch on in Ireland? Believe it or not, the first St. Patrick's Day in Ireland wasn't until 1903 in the city of Waterford. It wasn't until the 20th century, particularly after World War II, that St. Patrick's Day began to take on a more outwardly celebratory and nationalistic character. While St. Patrick's Day in the U.S. has become associated with parades, drinking, and festive activities, in Ireland it has historically been more subdued. The 19th century brought major changes to Ireland, particularly with the rise of Irish nationalism and the push for independence from British rule. During this period, St. Patrick's Day began to evolve into a more political and cultural event, reflecting the growing sense of Irish identity and resistance to British colonialism. As Irish Catholics sought to assert their national identity, St. Patrick's Day was increasingly viewed as a day to celebrate Irish culture and heritage. The day became a focal point for Irish nationalists, who began to use the occasion to promote the cause of Irish independence. The history of St. Patrick's Day in Ireland is intertwined with both religious and political developments, and its celebration reflects the nation's journey from colonial rule to modern-day independence. During the 17th and 18th centuries, the Protestant ascendancy in Ireland, which controlled much of the island and discriminated against the Catholic majority, led to a more constrained celebration of St. Patrick's Day. In these years, St. Patrick's Day was an occasion for Catholics to express their resistance to the Anglo-Irish dominance and assert their Irish identity. In the 19th century, as Ireland fought for its independence, St. Patrick's Day became a symbol of Irish nationalism. The Irish celebrated their culture, identity, and dreams for freedom. And guess who helped spread this spirit across